What's up? What's up? It's your boy Mark, an MUFC fan here. And I've been away, guys. I've been not feeling too well the last few weeks, but I'm feeling strong today. And we are away facing Aston Villa, so we're going to discuss that. But right before that, guys, don't forget to get in, smash those likes, subscribe, and share it around because we're back and we're going to be consistent as ever. You know how I do it. Every morning, there's a news update. And we're going to be back talking about team news, and I'm going to be doing the scouting videos that I promised you guys. They're going to be uploaded very soon. And I see some guys are getting in. Let's get right into it, guys. And I'm going to welcome my buddy Drex in a few moments. But you know what to do. Take this time to smash those likes and subscribe. Guys, what's good? Bring my buddy Drex into the building so he can say hello to you. What's going on, Drex? What's up? What's up, my bro?
Yo, what you saying? What you saying? I'm good. How are you? How's everybody? Pick up yourselves, our bestie, like I like to call him. How are you doing today? Yeah, let's get him to 150 subscribers, guys. We could do it. It's very simple. It's very simple. Just share this video. You could put it on your Twitter account. Just share it on your Twitter and go Facebook, on your WhatsApp status, and get your people to just like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to turn on the notification bell because Mark is going to be giving you some scout reports as the weeks and as this day goes by. So you want to be locked on to this channel. What you say, Mark?
Chilling, bro. And well, let's not keep these guys wondering. I know GB is coming in. He's always here. Good morning to you. Big up to you, my bro. How are you doing? 115 subs. Let's get to 150. Yeah, bro. I think I was 124, but I haven't been doing any videos, so maybe a few of guys unsubscribed for some reason. I don't know. But let's keep it moving. I'm gonna bring to you guys the press conference from Erik ten Hag, part 1 and part 2, and we're gonna take a brief discussion in between each section, and let's hear what you guys are thinking. Let's start with the first part of the press conference, guys. Come on.
Hi, Eric. Good afternoon. We saw that you lost Lisandro Martinez this week. How big a blow is that? And is anyone else close to a return this week? Perhaps Mason Mount, Aaron Wan-Bissaka?
It's setback, of course. Licha just returning. You see his contribution to the team when he's playing. So he brings, apart from his technical skills, also mentality in the team. But it's a big setback for Licha. He's very disappointed about it, but he's a fighter and he will be back. He will be stronger back. We think he can still be back by the end of the season. So there are games to play, and as a squad we have to replace him, and we have very good players in that position who can play there and will play there and will perform there. So as a squad we have to deal with it. And then the second part of your question, Aaron Wan-Bissaka today he was training, but then he dropped out. So I don't know in this moment where he is. What is the diagnosis? Hopefully it's not too bad. And Mason and Ty are not ready to return into the squad.
Sir Jim Ratcliffe has been quoted as saying he wants Old Trafford to be a Wembley of the North going forward. I just wonder, I assume that's music to your ears, but as a manager, would you welcome changes to the stadium, even if it meant you had to perhaps play away from Old Trafford while the work was done?
So if that's his view, then I would say it expresses the ambition of this club, which is good. But further on, it's not my task in this club to deal with stadium questions, with facilities. My job is to perform the team, to manage the team, to build the squad.
In terms of your team, the form has picked up magnificently in recent weeks. You're on your longest unbeaten run of the season now, and the goals have started coming as well after 18 in your first 18 league games. I think you've scored 13 in your last 5. Were you always confident that would happen? And is it kind of the fact that Rasmus has found his form, Garnacho on the right, that it's clicked?
Yeah, players need time, especially young players. You mentioned like Rasmus and Alejandro. They need time, but also they need a team. And so those two facts were not there in the first part of the season. The team, and we had to make a lot of adjustments in our way of play, and so it was by stages it was difficult to serve the offensive part of the team. And when that happens, then also it can go really quickly, and that players going to develop and to progress. That is what we have seen. But I was from the start. I was confident that they have the potential to do this, what they are now doing. And now it's about keep moving, keep going, be hungry.
Alyssa.
Eric, you've spoken about consistency a lot and balance, and Lissandro was a player that offered both. Without him, you do have options to change it. Will we see Luke Shaw shift centrally, or do you expect Victor Lindelof to come in there?
We have options how to deal with that position. We have good centre halves in our squad, and so the others are all available. Luke can play also there, I'm quite confident that we can keep this process going, and that others can fulfill that position and also contribute, play in high levels. Those players are experienced and are very good players, so it's up to them now to fill it in.
You're still keen to keep somebody who's comfortable using his left foot there for the build-up play?
That is, it's an advantage. We have seen, but we have to work on players. But players can also develop in such positions when you work with them, when you coach them, when you train them. And I see our players in the back line making better decisions. I've seen that they develop their skills in building up. And so I'm quite confident that we can keep this process from better ball playing from the back, that we can keep that going.
Right. Okay. Hi, Eric. We saw Villa play with a full first team last night and lose. Now, with your desire to get in the Champions League for next season, does this now become a must-win game for yourselves to dislodge them and raise yourself?
I've said to the team from the start of January, every game is now a final. So that was also our approach when we to West Ham United. We were one point behind them. This is a final. We have to take this challenge. We have to see this as a final, and so that will be every game from now on for us. So we are already in that mood.
Elmer.
Just on Villa, Unai Emery's obviously had a lot of praise for what he's done this season. What do you think he's kind of done particularly well to bring Villa on in the way that we've seen?
It's very good how we develop this team, and it's very clear how they want to play in and out of possession. And I think the players know exact what they have to do, their jobs, and how it has to cooperate with each other. So they are a really team. They have absolutely weapons in their team. So we have to play our maximum levels to get the right result.
Samuel.
Hi. You spoke about the senior centre halves who you have got available on Sunday. Johnny Evans and Rafael Varane are out of contract in the summer. Do you want to keep them next season?
We haven't made the decision yet.
Neil.
Eric, I saw that great picture of the three young players sitting on the advertising hoarding after the goal. How would you describe the relationship they have on and off the pitch, and has their sort of have they brought a sort of excitement to the squad, do you think?
I think they enjoy to play together. There's adventure. They are a danger. They want to do it together. They want also to pass the ball to each other. Also that everyone can play to the qualities, and also that everyone can score goals. And yeah, it's great if they want to do it together, because I think that's the key. Then we can have a lot of pleasure from this. And yeah, they are young players, and I've said it before. I think the future for Manchester United is quite bright with such much talent on board. But we have to develop the talent, because yeah, there's a lot of space for improvement, and that's necessary if you want to go to top levels. And this club wants to achieve a lot. This club wants to win trophies, so very ambitious. So then they have to step up. They have to bring higher levels. They have to bring consistency in their game, but also against the best opposition, they have to express the same threat and the same, especially. It's all about that and product.
Jenny.
Hi, Eric. Just going back to Lisandro Martinez. You've had some serious bad luck with injuries this season. Now, he came off initially in the incident, then he went back on. What was the thinking there? That maybe made it worse? Did it aggravate it? The fact that he went back on and tried to play on? Might he have be out sort of for less time if he hadn't done that?
I don't think so. But Lisandro was his decision, and he was comfortable to be back on the pitch. But after he tried, and then I think he stopped almost in the next attack.
Is it almost impossible then to diagnose that at the time, you know, when he initially comes off?
It's not possible. Yes, you. In some situations, it's clear and obvious, but so there's always a gray area, and it's very difficult already to see when you are on the sideline. So what happened there? And of course, we have the screens. We seen it as well, and of course our medicals are over there, and they communicating with the player. But to assess in 1-2 minutes is impossible. The more I always tell you after a game, I can't tell you because you need 24 hours minimum, and maybe sometimes even longer. So how can you do this in 2 minutes?
So that was the first part of the press conference. You can hear the rest. So the press conference.
So, guys, what are you thinking about that? What is, the manager had to say? What are your thoughts? Drex, let's start. They asked the most questions about Lisandro Martinez, so let's just start where they ended, right?
Yeah, it's fine. I get the last guy who was asking if it was in my opinion, I think he was asking if it was actually a sensible thing to actually get him back on after the initial injury, right? But we all know that when player picks up knock like that and they tend to pick themselves up and actually walk it off, right? The manager or the player himself, even if the manager is saying, sit this one out, the player themselves be like, no, Gaffer, let me just see if I could run this for another maybe 5 to 10 minutes and see how it feels. It might just be something that it's not, right? But so the manager gave him the chance, and you could see immediately that he couldn't continue. It wasn't a case of, let's see how far he could go. It's just they gave him the chance to actually see if he could walk it off. But it didn't happen. So when the case of, because I hear some fans were saying, "Oh, was it sensible to actually just let him run it off?" Yo, man, it happens in football. It's not today. This is nothing new. It's been there way before now. So we shouldn't be acting like we shouldn't be acting too smart nowadays. Like, oh, a player picks up an injury and she just comes off immediately. No, it's a case of, okay, let's see what's happening. Because guess what? You have to assess the situation before you make a decision. You don't just make a decision off your gut feeling most of the time. You just assess the situation right there in front of you. Give the guy a chance. If he's not ready, if he can't pull up, then you take him out. It's a big loss to us though, because ever since he came back, we've found some. Although we considered goals when he came back, but you could see I think we play much better when he's at the back, because he tends to move the ball from the back. he has his own progressive style of play where he gets to, sometimes he connects, he tends to find his midfielder. But if that's not happening, if the midfielder's channels are blocked, he goes straight to the attacker. And most of the time, his line breaking passes, boy, it's beautiful to behold. So yes, it's a loss, but at United we should have that's the problem, because we've spent money badly in the past. We've not actually utilized funds the best way we could. So that's why we are looking at it like, oh, Lisandro Martinez is down and everybody's feeling down and out, right? But at United, we should be able to say, okay, one player is out, another player should step in and do the job. If not better, but almost like the player that the starting player. So I feel like it's gonna be a loss, but let's see what character these players are made of today. Especially whoever is gonna be stepping up into Lisandro's shoes. Let's see what character they're made of. You can't just let Lisandro Martinez down by losing stupidly to Villa or by playing poorly. You know, there's one thing to lose stupid. There's one thing to play exceptionally well and lose, right? And there's another thing to not just play at all and still lose. So I'm of the opinion that okay, play your best, do give your all, and if it happens that you lose, fine. But you can't just go there just not playing and expect to grind out
100%.
a win. So that's for that. Lisandro Martinez is going to be a loss, but it's one we just have to take on the chin and just move on.
Yeah, and like Stephanie is saying, it's nice right now to have a balance and a settled midfield trio and a front three, but the loss of Licha is a huge miss. Others have to step up. It's 100%. You know what I mean? And like, if we look at it from my perspective, you know, there's always going to be a drop off unless you get a player who's similar profile. And we don't really have that. Big up to Stephanie. She's back saying she's forgot her buddy
It's
Drex.
okay,
Large up,
Stephanie, it's
bro.
okay. I still feel like you're still on the passion fruit. It's okay. We got the
It's all
passion.
good, Steph.
I got
You
some
know,
passion fruit myself.
the idea was
It's okay.
nice. The idea was nice.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, guys, when you look at it from the perspective of how the manager looked at things, he also was asked questions about the return of other players. And Aaron Wan-Bissaka left training early because he's not feeling it or whatever. They don't know, the assessment yet on why he's not available. So they're hoping for that, as well as you hear him speak about Hoyland and the young attacking lineup and how he believed in them, and they're providing the output right now, and their form is good right now, but they also need to be given time because they still have development to do, and they can be better, and the team itself can be better. So he's not settled, but he's happy, and you could tell from the manager he's a bit more relaxed. He also spoke on every game is what they would say, a cup final,
Oh yeah,
basically,
final.
because
Yeah,
he wants
yeah,
to get the
yeah,
team back into the
yeah,
Champions League next
yeah.
season. And in order to do that, we need to make up 9 points so we can get into top four. A win today is going to prove very delightful for that going forward. But let's hear the last bit of the press conference because, it was embargoed. So this is the second half. Let's hear this and let's close the discussion as we look forward to the match preview, guys. Let's see what Erik ten Hag has to say in the final bit of his press conference.
Press conference. The second section is embargoed until Saturday at 10:30. Joe, do you want to start?
Oh, I'll let Ken.
Okay.
Hi, Eric.
Hi.
The re-emergence of Casemiro must be very important to you after his injury problems. I wonder how important that is to you, the significance it could have for the rest of the season. And the second part of my question would relate to the influence he would have long-term on Kobe Mainoo and his development.
Yeah, you can see it. We missed, for over a long period, very important players like Casemiro, like Martinez, like Luke Shaw. Also others. We discussed that often, but you see the impact from a player when he's there, like Casemiro. He gives you calmness and composure on the ball. He gives you options. He does see the vertical pass. So he's always a step ahead of his opponent, and that break lines. And then we talked just about the offensive and what they need, how they have to serve. But then Casemiro is a very important player for our game. So yeah, happy he's back. And yeah, for Kobe Mino, and yeah, you can learn a lot from it. And that togetherness, that bond. Also, Kobe is very coachable, and Casemiro has so much experience, and yeah, Kobe will learn a lot from it, and that can even accelerate his development. So yeah, happy to have him, and yeah, and when they can play together, I think they can take benefit from each other.
Just to follow on from that, does Casemiro perhaps talk to Kobe? I mean, do you see them chatting? Is there a relationship there? Does Kobe will clearly look up to him? I mean, do you feel that there's a bond perhaps developing there?
Absolutely, and Kasse, he takes also that responsibility. He takes him, to him. He's talking to him. I see it in the dressing room. I see it on the pitch, on the training, also in games. He is, of course, he's looking at his own game, but he's trying to help and to support Kobe Mino. Yeah.
You've spoken about the Premier League's financial rules and spending rules a few times recently. It's clear how important Champions League revenue next season is to your transfer budget, I guess, in the summer. Does that make it more important, beyond just the footballing reasons, to get top four? Is there a danger that if you miss out, it kind of sets this project back years because of the financial knock-on effect going into the summer?
Yeah, it's very important to play Champions League. that is clear. So we don't have to discuss this. And what is exactly the impact, that is what in this moment I don't know. But yeah, of course you have you are financial, you have more power when you're achieving the Champions League. And so that is all our target, absolutely.
Usually when a Manchester United manager has introduced young players to the team, Alex Ferguson, for example, he was bringing them into a successful team, a team that was winning Premier Leagues, a team that was packed with experienced players. Do you have to be more courageous as a manager to put your faith in young players when the team maybe isn't performing so well on the pitch?
Yeah. It's more easy to integrate young talent into a successful team. That's true. And so the conditions where we had to bring Kobe Mino in that moment was not so. It was not really that you know on forehand that will be a success. I had that confidence because I saw him performing. I saw him performing in autumn. I saw him progressing during in spring and in summer. I had that game from Arsenal in my mind, so I didn't have any doubt. But yeah, when he's coming in the team, he has to do it. Many things he has to do on his own, because when there are a lot of routines in the team, it's much more easier to come in. That's true, but we are not in that situation. I think this club is already not in that situation for a long time. And so for many years, Manchester United is not in that position. And so we are now building a team what can really offer a foundation for players to come in. And we built a foundation that we really can add quality players into a squad that bring the team to next levels.
Do you also have to be careful as manager not to overplay them? That there will be occasions where you have to bring them in and out of the team.
Yeah, but there's also that is what I did. For instance, I brought them out on Sunday because it was the third day of the second game in nearly 3 days. I brought them out against Nottingham Forest. I think that was the third game in a week, and yeah, I have to protect the player because first he has to get used to the Premier League intensity, and then he has to get used to do it every third day. And yeah, you can't train this. You can't train this in training. It's impossible. Or you can't train this in games from under 21. You can only train this in the Premier League or Champions League, and when you have to perform every third day, and then you have to make considerations. It's about the team result, but also about protecting players that they don't get injured. And yeah, Kobe was twice injured, so we don't want to come into that situation again because that stops his progress.
Last question, Will.
Hi, Eric. Keeping it on sort of youth. Garnacho's been playing on the right more often recently. How open was he to playing there, and what do you think he brings to that role? And also, speaking of mentoring, what can he learn from what Marcus Rashford has done on the left-hand side, which is obviously the opposite side to his normal one?
What is the second part of your question?
What can you learn from Marcus Rashford, who plays as a left winger but who is right-footed, whereas Garnacho is left-footed but playing on the right at the moment? What can you learn from him?
Garnacho is right-footed. He can also. He's very good with left, but he's so functional. He's right.
And in terms of the first one, what's he bringing to the role on the right? Is it obviously having an effect with his goals and more in the team?
So Alejandro, natural. He prefers to play on the left as well, but now he finds his position on the right as well, and which he's doing very good, and also quite fluid. He finds his spaces there. But yeah, he can do both, and which is great. But that is not every player has those ability, and some they are really have a preference, and that is what is great on the game of Alejandro Garnacho, that he is a player who can be fluid and can play both positions, and even in inside positions, he feels very comfortable, and he can have a big impact on our game and on the end product.
Guys, as you were hearing, that is the second part of the embargoed press conference. Erik ten Hag was a little bit more candid in what he was speaking about, as he was clarifying on his opinions on the youngsters like Garnacho, like Højlund, like Kobbie Mainoo, and why he brought him off in some of those games, how he plans to protect these youngsters, while he plans to, also give them the ability and the time to develop. And I think it was what a lot of fans probably should have heard or wanted to hear weeks ago. You know what I mean? But now the manager is relaxed. For me, it seems like he doesn't have, the stresses of answering questions that shouldn't really be like, it's only happening because he is here right now. It seems to me like lots of the questions that they're asking, are based on they're just asking those questions because, like he pretty much clarified for them, Manchester United has not been in a situation where we were able to bring in young players into a squad that was winning and capable and consistent, right? And that was many years now. When they ask him the questions like, since Alex Ferguson hasn't coached Manchester United in over 10 years. So it's one of those things to me, like, it's like they're just trying to, find a reason or find some way to direct it as him. You know what I mean? He's not even trying to have the comparison, because when they asked about him, they asked him, do you think you have to be more courageous than Alex Ferguson was to bring players into? He says, well, it's definitely true that young players coming into a squad that's already established, and it's a lot easier and more successful for their development. But, like Manchester United has not been in that position. So for him to bring in a player, it's basically because, he's taking a chance. It has nothing to do with him being more courageous than Alex. I like the way he answered those questions. You know what I mean? Could you imagine had he said, well, yes, you have to be more courageous, then, people would say he thinks he's more courageous than Alex Ferguson.
The what should we call it? When during the press conference, right?
Shay, what's up, bro?
There's people like you and I, and a lot of people like you and I, right? Or a lot of people that I say, because people be like, okay, what's this guy's feeling like? Okay, there are a lot of sensible people out there, right? That listens to the manager and tries to take some positive notes from it, try to criticize what he's saying, and try to maybe ask questions, rhetorical questions, or ask questions that they won't get to ask the manager, ask it in their head, and maybe the manager kind of bring an answer to them. Where there's the other set of people that just, whatever the manager says, they're just going to nail him to If you say something right, there will be something negative they will have to point out of it. If you say something negative, oh yes, it's why he. So he is. I think from the time he was appointed up to now, he's been trying his best to actually deal with the media and how he answers his question, so he doesn't come off as too arrogant or cocky in one way, and also so it doesn't come out as too naive on the other hand. So he's trying to strike a balance where everybody can actually hear or actually see, or when you hear him talk, you could actually make an informed decision or informed consent on as to what he's trying to talk about. But I still feel like some people, no matter what, they'll still nail him to the cross. And it was good that he answered that question the way he did, because anything other than how he answered it,
Would have
man,
been a
oh
problem.
man, oh man, oh man. Yeah,
And he also highlighted that you have to take them off.
yeah,
And
no, because
like Stephanie's
sometimes
saying,
people are like, okay, like I've been part of that as well. Like you take Mano off and we bring McTominay, and all of a sudden we see there's a drop off, right? And I'm like, why did he do that, right? Some people go as far as saying, no, it's in-game management is this, it's in-game management is that. But what most of us tend to forget is the fact that he is the manager. Let him manage. He's the one with the contract. He's the one that is got. I don't like to say this, but he's doing a job which he likes, and in turn pays his bills. So if he wants to keep his job, he should be making decisions that he thinks is best for him, right? And for the club. Let me not say him, for the club. Because
Mhm.
for him, you hear when he talks about team. So it's all about my team, it's all about the team, it's all about the team, right? So let him do what's best. We tend to forget that. We just feel like, oh, he should just be on social media listening to every T, D, and H, right? On social media to make his own decision. No, but we forget that his man is the manager we were crying for out for. Now he's here. People are tend to say, okay, he's not the one, but you haven't given him anything, in my opinion. So the truth is, people will always talk good, bad, ugly. People would always talk, but yeah, as long as Eric is finding a way to get, because I feel like if he finds a way to get more W's than L or D, then a lot of people will be on his side.
I
A
mean,
lot of people will be on his side.
it's one of
But
those things,
but
Drake.
in life, you have to work for the W. L's come very fast. The L's come so easy.
Bruv.
You have to work for your W's. You have to work for your W's. And W's most of the time is what people rate you with. It's not actually the effort you put behind your L's. Because sometimes you could actually put a lot of effort and still get L's, right? But people don't rate the effort. They rate your W's. So for me, as long as Eric Ten Hag is finding a way to get a lot of W's, the pressure will be eased, even from the media house and from the fans as well.
Yeah, 100%. And for me, it's all about having patience right now. We got this manager, his first season, he got us third, and he played in 2 cup finals. He got us back in the Champions League. You know what I mean? For me, that buys him time. That buys him time. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
not because the first 6 months of the season wasn't going as we expected or as we would have
Mhm.
hoped. It's one of those things where I look at it like, yo, it is what it is, man. Football isn't linear. It doesn't work on a time schedule. You know what I mean? Sometimes players have good form, sometimes players have bad form. And if you are trying to get into top four and your players are in bad form, it's gonna be a long one, bro. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Mhm.
So for me, it was like everyone makes light of the fact that we started the season with 16 plus players injured. We were light,
Oh, super light.
and
Super light.
then we had to make it work.
Mhm.
And then when we got some players back, it started working. It
Yeah.
worked. It wasn't pretty, but it worked. And the biggest thing for me is that it wasn't pretty, but we were never lower than
Mhm.
sixth in that 6 months. And everyone was like, we're gonna finish 10th, probably relegation, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just sitting there like, bro, why are we whataboutism about our team when we're fans? We've never been lower than sixth. Why are we talking like if we're sitting in eighth, ninth, or 10th? We
Mhm.
should be content with sixth. I mean, the team's not performing well, and we're still in sixth. That has to count for something. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And now that the team is performing well, you can see everyone's getting positive again, and I'm happy for that because I like my fans. Most of my friends are fans. Even some of my friends aren't United fans, but my friends who are United fans, I like them to be happy and positive because not everyone has the patience that I might have, or you might have, or Stephanie might have, or Kenny might have. Some people might be like, one loss and oh, it's all over now. You know what I mean? But for me, it was like I always expected the team to lose about 10 games this season. From the moment I realized that we're changing the system and we're going to start playing the way the manager wants this team to shape into, I was like, you know what? It's going to take some time for these guys to learn on the job, learn the principles, execute them, and continuously execute them despite the situations. It's going to take some time.
I'm
So,
just gonna say this, right? I find it I find it very I find it very fascinating that these journalists, they just, it's like they're looking for something from this manager. How do two journalists, how do they just waste the question? The managers talked about Casemiro and in one breath, and the next journalist is being given the chance to ask a different question. Is asking a question like, oh, does Casemiro talk to Maino? I'm like, yo, this is a team. What do you expect them doing after they play? After they just play again, what do you expect them to do? Everybody just say, "Kumbaya, we'll see you tomorrow. I'm going home." Until the next. No, people have to talk. This is the reason why we say the likes of Casemiro, Varane, and Johnny Evans, even Maguire, Bruno, they tend to be the leader. Although most people don't agree, but they tend to be the leader. You could see the way they, even Casemiro and Bruno, you see the way they talk to themselves on the pitch. You see the way they try to make sure everything is in alignment with what the plan is, the game plan is. So when the journalist is asking a question about Kobe Mino, if he gets being tutored by what's his name, by Casemiro, when the manager just finished talking about, I just feel like, yo, are you guys looking for something in here that, or maybe there's a particular line that you want this manager to just, maybe a phrase that you want this manager to use, that it's in your collection, so you're waiting. Once, if he uses that phrase, then you can answer that, you can ask that question anymore. It's just fascinating to see that those kind of a question have been asked. I don't know, but I'm glad that the manager is actually, because most people are actually questioning his youth involvement in the team. They're like, oh, he doesn't give youth enough time and all of that, right? But we could see, and he said it before, so most people tend to maybe don't pay attention. He said if he finds a youth that is good enough, they are gonna play. We people were worried that Garnacho wouldn't have gotten the game time he's gotten, but guess what? Garnacho was on the left. He switched Garnacho to the right. Now I'm talking about Garnacho now because I have to give, first of all, give the manager props for giving Garnacho the time, and also give Garnacho a bigger props for actually stepping in a zone that he's not too comfortable with, but is finding success in it. If you know what I mean. This is the same zone, this is the same right wing that when Anthony, the same right wing that Sancho did not really do well in, Anthony is not really doing well in at the moment, right? I know they didn't give Pelestri a lot of time, but the time Pelestri got, he wasn't really as productive. It's a small sample size, so I could excuse Pelestri for in that one, right? But it wasn't given as much time as the rest, like the others, right? But I'm saying Garnacho stepped in and is making the right wing look like is a natural. You understand what I mean? So it goes to show the character that this boy has. It goes to show the kind of mentality he's got. I know a lot of people give him weep and all of that, even myself included. Sometimes when he gets the wrong game, I'm like, yo, in this game he wasn't there and all of that, right? But you could see that he's brave and he's courageous and he's ambitious to actually want to make any position that this manager puts him work. And it reminds me of a certain legend, right, who ended up playing across the front three and is good at it and happens to be Ganache's idol. So when when I see the likes of Anthony, Sancho mourn about, okay, their preferred wing, their preferred position, their preferred. Yo, bro, a young kid is playing at a different, is playing in not in his preferred position, but he's doing his bit and is impacting from that position and actually is contributing to the success of the team. How about you just find a way? So that's why the likes of, what's his name, Harry Maguire, right? Even after he leaves the club, I've said it. I won't say anything negative about Harry Maguire anymore because these guys, even with with the whip and all of that he gets, he still puts his head down to actually wants to improve his game. These are the kind of players I like. I want to see at Manchester United. Not that players with the mentality up here, you have to have it here because fans are going to talk, right? Fans are going to speak negative. Fans are going to criticize. If you lose it here, you've lost it. Even if you're talented, if you lose it up here, you've lost it. And players like Maguire, we need them in terms of quality should match mentality, right?
100%.
Yeah, quality should match the mentality. But sometimes the mentality, if young kids are seeing how strong you are mentally, it helps them as well.
Big up Stephanie coming in saying the league is a marathon, not a sprint. ETH brings stability and discipline, which the press, rival fans, and our impatient fans don't want. And I agree with Stephanie on this. I agree with what you're saying 100%, Drex. You're right about a lot of what you're talking about. And you know, the front players should be able to play any position across the front positions 100%. Although, for me, I still prefer that our striker be a bagsman. You know, and when I say a bagsman,
No.
a
Yeah, you
goal
can have a
scorer.
batsman. Yeah, you can. I'm just saying that when you take somebody from their comfort zone and put them in another comfort zone, the most of the time, what we hear is he's not doing well because that's not his preferred position. We hear that argument a lot, right?
Yeah, you only
And
hear that for
sometimes
some players like
no,
Marcus Rashford, bro. I don't
that's what
really
I'm
hear
saying.
that for other players.
No, but that's what I'm saying. For some players, you hear the argument. I'm saying it's not just our club alone. For other teams as well, you hear that argument like, okay, he's not 100% giving his best because guess what? He's playing out of position and all of that and what's not, right? But I'm saying for a young kid who could be sulking for not playing in his previous position, going to the right wing to do what he's doing, right? Bro, you have to give it to him. You have to just fine. He would get the odd games here or there where he won't perform to that level that we expect. But he's only 19 or 20.
100%. And like for me, with the young players, whether they're at Manchester United or at other clubs, they need time. That's all I would have to say about that. And for the coach, I think all coaches need at least 3 seasons. You know, some people might say sack a coach within 6 months. I think sometimes in football and in sports, when your team is losing, it's not always a bad thing unless the team has been under that manager for more than 2 seasons. You know what I mean? I think in a first season, sometimes the new differences, the new aesthetics of each manager will differ, no matter if they play similar formations or a similar pressing style. I think they're going to have slightly different aesthetics in terms of what they want to be done, and it's going to take players a while to understand that and get it in 100% as a routine, like a basic, like their first thought default of what I need to do in this situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is one of the reasons why I'm not so, you know, I'm a fan of football, and yeah, I don't like the rivals, but I'm not gonna shit on Chelsea because at the same time I think we're in a similar situation to them. It's just we're on a flip side of the coin. We're doing our rebuild pace gracefully. We're actually, you know, we're bringing in new players, but we're integrating the youth from the academy as well, and we're gonna start releasing players. Excuse me, right? But at the same time, with Chelsea, what they did was a whole entire reset, which I think most United fans expected that we would do. You know what I mean? They got like 15 players out and they brought in like 15 players. You know what I mean? And yeah, they spent $1 billion, but when you look at the players that they brought in, they're all under 23, never played with each other before, from different leagues. You know what I mean? With different mindsets, some different countries. You know, and they're expected to come together in their first 6 months and be in the top half of the table. That's insane. I mean, they're talented, yeah, and sure they're gonna win games when they have a good day, yes. But you want to know something? They lack the experience that Manchester United have right now. They have young players with world of ability, but they don't have anyone like Casemiro in their midfield. They don't have anyone like a Johnny Evans in their defense, unless you want to say Thiago Silva. You know, I feel like he alone is not enough. You know what I mean? They don't have anyone like a Christian Eriksen in training. You know what I mean? They didn't even have someone like a Anthony Martial, unless you want to count Raheem Sterling. And in my opinion, he's more of a winger than a striker. So for me, it's kind of hard when you look at their team to expect them to finish in the top six ahead of Manchester United and other teams that have been doing well since last season. I always thought that Chelsea was going to finish maybe at best eighth, you know, lucky seven. You know what I mean? But at worst, they finished 10th, which is still better than last season. But you know what? Maybe next year is the year you have to watch out for Chelsea because these players would have lost, they would have won, they would have drawn games, they would have learned what they need to do, and they would have been a year more comfortable with themselves playing with each other. They would be able to accept losses, accept bad moments in game easier. That's where the experience comes in. And with Manchester United, it's a bit different because you always hear fans talking about, hey, guess what? When you're missing one or two players, you should still be able to play the same way. I've not seen it at Man City this season. I'm not seeing it at Liverpool this season. I've not even seen it at Spurs. Neither at Arsenal. When City's missing De Bruyne and Rodri, they're in shambles. Their midfield is atrocious. You know, they can barely win games sometimes. It's the same with Arsenal. They look lackluster without Declan Rice in their midfield. Far less if they were to lose Saliba. And we're not even talking about Gabriel Jesus. So, and if we go to Liverpool, look at Liverpool. They got thrashed. They got destroyed, in my opinion, by Arsenal. They weren't at the races that day. Mohamed Salah is out. Van Dijk was having a bad game. Trent was injured. Who was really missing from that squad besides Mo Salah? And look how they look. They look a shadow of Liverpool. They couldn't press well. They couldn't attack properly. They couldn't create chances for themselves. And they couldn't stop conceding chances. It's a myth. A lot of guys talk about Man City's levels above United when Man City's probably dropped as many points as Man United all season. They probably scored more goals than us, but they've dropped a lot of points. And they've had luck in some games where we haven't. They've got lots of penalties. They got some games where they got two sometimes. They got two penalties in some games as well. Manchester United hasn't had that. So, in my honest opinion, when you look at a manager like what we have and the situation all encompassing with everything happening with our team, it's one thing that you could say, you know what? These guys could do better. The manager will do better, but he needs time. And right before we let you guys go, I'm just going to bring up what I think is probably going to be the lineup for today against Aston Villa. But I don't know if Drex might have a different of opinion. I'll bring it to the screen and hear what he has to say and what is he thinking. If you want to make any change, guys, in the comments, if you think you want to make a change, let me know what you're thinking. But this is how I see the Aston Villa game going.
No, this is more like how we start the game though, because Johnny Evans and Luke Shaw should give that balance right here on the left side of things. We know Johnny Evans has those passes in his feet as well, so this could work, right? But my greatest problem, my greatest concern, which should always be in the game, is the Onana thing. As long as we can restrict them to keep, as long as we can, I know I say this a lot, right? As long as we keep a clean sheet, we are in the game. So because if Onana go let's do something, we know most of his goals, right? The goals that we concede, find defensive mistake, or one person is making a slip up or something like that, but Onana should be able to actually bail us out, but he's not doing that at the moment. So that's my only concern with this. But all in all, it looks good, like what Sabest is saying. All in all, it looks good. We should be able to get a win. Remember, we came from 2 goals down um take the win against Villa at Old Trafford, right? And there was no Casemiro. We did it without Casemiro, right? And now we have Casemiro. We have the Rashford firing and rearing to go. We have Garnacho doing his thing, and Hoyland is beginning to get goals in. So yeah, it looks good. It looks good. It looks good because there's nobody you will want to start alongside Casemiro or Kobe. You want to bring in McTominay in that miss my days. Just let me go. Just say it's okay. Just that's what I hope Casemiro doesn't get a yellow card in this game. That's
100%, bro. Like I'm thinking to myself, I hope that I don't think he would. You know, when I look at the team, Aston Villa is what as a rugged team. They have a player like David Luiz who's just as, he indicative in the game. He gets into similar sticky challenges and he makes mistakes. You know what I mean?
so
So I'm looking for it to be a physical game. I think they're gonna let some of the tackles go.
sorry,
And
Mark. I have got to run. I've got to get to church now. I've got to run, Mark.
all right, big up to you, my bro. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you,
Don't
guys.
forget to
Thank you
smash
so
the like
much.
button for Drex coming in, saving the day. He always got my back in these previews. Hope you have a good one at church at
All right,
service,
thank
my
you, man.
bro. I'll see you later
All
for
right.
the reaction. And guys, don't forget to smash the likes. Don't forget to check out D Hub Sports, because that's where you can find Drex when you don't find him on here or on Pappy's channel, Football Power Hour. Yeah, Kenny Fan TV, it's one of those things where people, calls McTominay lots of names like McAverage, McTominay Scooby Doo, McTerminator, the Mc, it's a lot of mix. But at the end of the day, you know what? He's one of the players in the squad that we have available right now. I don't see us having one of those situations where we could replace him soon. So it's going to be one of those things where you look like, it's difficult. Manu Tata is coming in. It's so easy to pick this team. Anyone can do it, but the manager's job comes when managing in game. Management and on the ground, applying tactics to attack and counter-attack opposition manager's style and system. 100%, my bro. 100%. I haven't seen you in a while, bro, but I have also not been well. I haven't been doing much streams, but you can count on the streams coming consistently from today. I will be back later on tonight with a weekend roundup of the Premier League and a match reaction to the Manchester United game. And guys, stay tuned because at 4 p.m. UK time, there's definitely going to be a watch along. So come in, smash the like, subscribe. Let me hear your thoughts while you're watching the game. And Manu Tata, I'm looking forward to you being here, my brother. Haven't seen you. I hope you're having a good one. Big up to you, Stephanie Griffith, always here to support the MVP of my channel and certainly the Manchester United YouTube community. I hope you're having a great day. Big up to you, Kemini Fan TV coming in. Guys, this has just been, bringing you, if you are now joining, I had previously shown the press conferences embargo sections, part A and part B. So Manu Tata, if you want to check out the press conferences, you could jump in and, and you could go back, to the beginning and you can watch both the press conferences and see what the manager had to say for himself. I think this is more of what the fans were expecting to have from the beginning of the season. But the manager, you have to remember, he is Dutch. He's also recently learning English, so he wasn't able to previously express himself in such a way that I think regular English speakers like myself and you all would have appreciated. But now I feel like he's more understanding what he needs to present verbally in English, and he's starting to explain stuff. And the way he talks about things is exactly what we need, what we wanted to hear, guys. Yeah, we got to keep Watkins quiet and our chances get much better. One of those things, bro. Big up to you, man, Lutata. Yeah, big up to Stephanie. And he's saying big up to the chat. Big up to everyone. Love and respect. 100%, buddy. 100%. Guys, I think, like Stephanie saying, like and subscribe. But don't forget that our chances creation have gone up dramatically in the last 3 games. We have scored 4 and 4 and 3. And guys, you know what? That's more goal. That's almost as many goals as we have scored in the first 6 months of the season in the Premier League. I don't think it's safe to say that United are getting more clinical. I hope the form continues today. And as always, I'm gonna back the O guys because I know he's gonna bag today. And like I always tell everyone, I prefer my strikers to be goal scorers. And the reason why I say this is because you know what? When a striker is scoring goals, it's hard to stop him, guys. It's hard to stop him. People say they want their striker to create, and I don't need all of that from my striker. I need the guys around him to create for him. I want him, when he gets the ball, to be greedy. Of course, It would be nice if he gets an assist here and there. I'm going to enjoy that, but I want them to finish at the back of the net, because at the end of the day, the reason why he's called a striker is because he finishes at the back. You know, he finishes every chance, almost every chance he gets. The more chances he gets, the more finishes he will have. And you know what, guys? Kenny fan, I'm thinking Højlund is going to bag again. I'm thinking he's going to score 2 today, though. I don't think he's going to get an assist. I think all the assists are going to come from this guy right here, who you expect to score first. I think it's going to be Bruno with 3 assists today. I think Højlund is going to grab a pair. And I think Rashford might also get another goal today. You know, I would hope for Garnacho to be the first scorer, but something tells me he's going to create a lot of trouble, you know, but he's going to be the one that opens up the game, that allows the other front attackers to score their goals today. Guys, it's been your boy, Mark and MUFC fan. You know, with the daily update, it's Sunday morning, it's match day, Reds. I'm going to add some more animations to my screen because I want to have this little fan thing jumping, saying like, yay, it's match day. Yeah, guys, you know how it is. It's going to be fun. I hope you guys are looking forward to it, and I hope to see you at the watch along at 4 p.m., 4:30 UK time. We will be here, Sachiv. You know, I'm going to send you the link in a little while, bro, as soon as I get myself going. Hope you all have a great day. Thank you for coming in, Stephanie. Thanks for being here. Thank you for coming in, GB, and keeping me company. Big up to you, my bro, Man Lutata. Man United win today, guys. And we're going to have 3 games on the bounce, 3 points closer to top 4. I think it's going to be on the cards. Big up to everyone coming in here. Big up GB again. You know, big up to Kenny fan. Big up to Shay, Arsenal fan. Came in early, but I know the Arsenal game is live, and I want them to draw. Shay, hope you have a good one, buddy. Big up to you, bro. Big up, big up. Everyone, thank you for joining me. I hope to see you all later for the watch along. Don't forget to leave your comments and your opinions in the non-live section. Shay, I have to give you some score predictions so you can give it the tie for me next week, because I keep forgetting to post my score predictions in his community chat. Big up to you. I hope Arsenal draw today, bro. Sorry to disappoint you. I hope Manchester United will win. Yeah, bro. I predicted that as well. So that's what I'm hoping for. Hope you guys have a great day. I will see you all in a few hours for the Manchester United watch along, and we'll be back later on tonight for the reactions and the Premier League review. Guys, have a great day. Hope you have lunch, eat well, drink heartily, stay safe. Love everyone. Man United in top 4 for this season. I'm hoping so, guys. Hope for a good game today. Let's have an easy night, and let's talk and smile and laugh. Glory, glory. Manchester United. It's match day, Reds, and I'll see you all later. Catch you guys on the flip side. Oh.